WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, have some fun. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, I'm Wagsy. Welcome to WAGSY'S World. All right, today's subject, one of my top 5 bands. What makes Van Halen great? The mighty Van Halen. Well, I have to start with some David Lee Roth quotes. That's right, Diamond Dave, DLR, the Peacock, the Overlord, looking down on us through his sophisticated sensibilities. That's right, Diamond Dave. David Lee Roth, here's some quotes from him over the years. I'm not conceited. That's a fault, and I have none. Another one. The only thing I'm allergic to is criticism. Boy, that's true of him. I love this one. I used to jog, but the ice kept falling out of my drink. I bet that was true as well. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a yacht you can pull alongside of happiness. That's a good one from him. Okay, Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen, Alex Van Halen, David Lee Roth, Michael Anthony, Sammy Hagar, the great Van Halen. Here's what some of the critics, why they think Van Halen was great, but before that, some of the figures about Van Halen. They started in 1974 in Pasadena, California, under 5 or 6 names before they came up with Van Halen. One of those names was the Broken Combs. I don't know if that would have worked, maybe. They used the Van Halen name starting in 76 when they played the Whiskey A Go-Go circuit in Hollywood, California. And they became famous down there for their live shows. Their album sales, 84 million in album sales. How about in 1983 at the US Festival? They were paid $1.5 million for one concert, one gig. Now at the time, that set the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest paid concert. They set it, and I'm not sure if it still stands, but for the time in 1983, those dollars, unbelievable. Eddie Van Halen has 3 guitar patents. The album 5150 refers to the police code for mentally disturbed, which some of them probably have been over the years. Their biggest hit was Jump. We all know that one. And that became a #1 hit. Their brothers, Alex and Eddie Van Halen, check this out. Eddie started on drums when they were young, and Alex was playing the guitar. Man, I'm glad they switched. One of the greatest guitarists of all time and a monster drummer. So thank goodness they switched that. David Lee Roth, part of the reason he left the band, and there were many reasons, but this one I didn't know about. CBS Studios paid David Lee Roth $10 million to make a movie. And that was part of the reason he left. They never made that movie. Here's from the LA Times, a review from 1978. They said, they're a rock package better than Aerosmith and Kiss, which at the time were on top. They called them punk rock, but with a solid rhythm, an inventive guitarist, and I love this one, and a rampaging singer. And their backing vocals soared. I think this critic had it right, and he foretold their future with that article. Definitely. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which you can take or leave. There's people that are in it, probably shouldn't be, and there's a lot of people that aren't in it that should be. Now, why Wagsy? What Wagsy thinks about why they're great? Just some reasons. Well, I think they made 9 out of their 12 albums I think were excellent. The debut album, of course, that changed things. Van Halen 2, I really like Van Halen 2. Fair Warning, another great album. 1984, of course, that was their huge smash album. Now with Sammy, 5150, OU 812, and For Unlawful Carnage. I love those 3 albums. Diver Down with the original lineup. And then late in their career, Different Kind of Truth. I like that album a lot. I know some of the songs were written back in the day, and probably the music was written. It has that feel to it. It has a classic Van Halen feel. If you haven't listened to Different Kind of Truth, check it out. Now, when that debut album, when the debut album for Van Halen came out, I was a teenager. Me and tons of rock fans and some critics had never heard this type of music. They totally changed the game. They sounded way different. The guitar runs, the style of guitar playing, the super high screaming vocals, and the swagger of David Lee Roth. I'm putting it nicely when I say the swagger. David Lee Roth, the confident frontman, Eddie Van Halen, the riffs and leads that we had never heard before. Basically, they were a rough and ready to roll rock and roll band that had tons of musical technique and were slickly produced. That always helps, as we all know. I loved Van Halen, or Van Hagar. I loved them both. Now let's talk a little bit about Sammy Hagar and Van Hagar, as it's known. The Red Rocker joined in 85 and was there till 96. During that time, they had $27 million in album sales with Sammy. The former Montrose lead singer, and I love the band Montrose. They're one of my favorites. UFO is also one of my favorites, but I loved Montrose. Sammy was the lead singer, if you didn't know that. And I think Sammy may be the most successful replacement lead singer or frontman in history, because they were at the height of their popularity when he came in, and he was able to maintain that. So I don't think that's ever been done. There's been a lot of substitute singers for different bands over the years, and some of them done really well. But to do what he did and what Van Halen did by switching to him, I think has never happened again or since. I own every Van Halen album recorded in some format. Might be album, might be CD, might be a download, might be a cassette. No 8-tracks. I'm not that old. Please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell. I forgot to say that earlier, so I wanted to say that. These are just some of the reasons that Van Halen is great for me and for the critics and other fans. Okay, in honor of David Lee Roth, pull it out of the Dallas Cowboy helmet. David Lee Roth, and I've seen them a few times. I think he has a reputation. Every time he came out for a show, he came out with a Jack Daniels bottle, took a big swig of it and set it aside, and then maybe rejoined it later in some concerts. So in honor of David Lee Roth, I'm going to kick it up a little bit and do a little review, or just really let you know about this product if you don't know about it. Jack Daniels Single Barrel Select. Now, this is not your normal Jack Daniels. This is a sipping whiskey, not a mixing whiskey. It's 94 proof. It's about $45. The nose on this, and I'm going to experience it while I'm telling you about it. There it is. Oh, nice cork pop. Let's pour a little in there. So the nose, yeah, it always was and it still is. Super vanilla. I mean vanilla and then oak. That's basically the nose of it. Really, really nice. Very nice. Vanilla and oak. Now, a sip. Okay. Brown sugar. Creme brulee. Creme brulee? Creme brulee. One of those. Very, very excellent sipping whiskey. Neat, or with a large cube. It's like a 2 to 3 sipping drinks for that night. 2 or 3 pours, I should say. Very, very nice whiskey. Tennessee whiskey from Jack Daniels. That one was in honor of you, David Lee Roth, DLR, Diamond Dave. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week on Friday.
WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World, have some fun.